Right now at 11.
You may not be with us physically, but your memory will forever be a guiding light in our darkest hours.
3 victims of a mass shooting in Jacksonville remembered 1 year after their deaths.
And it's hard without the rock that we used to have.
I'm Christina Burgess, on your side, sitting down with the son of one of the victims as he calls for justice.
Plus, rallying against proposed changes to Florida's state parks.
I've actually become more alarmed.
I'm Andrew Badillo on your side with how neighbors are working to get their message across to state leaders.
And the tropics were quiet, but not anymore. I'll let you know which tropical wave I'm tracking now.
This is First Coast News on your side at 11.
Today marks 1 year since a gunman opened fire at a Jacksonville Dollar General store, killing 3 people. Thank you for staying up with us tonight. I'm Anthony Austin.
And I'm Heather Crawford. Those 3 people who lost their lives, Angela Carr, A.J. Laguerre Jr., and Gerald Gallion. Their lives being remembered today, 1 year later.
Pass down this street every day and watch this memorial. It never leaves your mind and always leaving you wondering what if.
And here are 3 things to know about how the victims' families and the city are moving forward. The family of Gerald Gallion is sitting down with us to talk about his life and legacy. Plus, local organizations are honoring A.J. Laguerre with a new scholarship. And we're hearing from Jacksonville Mayor Donna Deegan as she reflects on the shooting that happened less than 2 months after she took office. But first tonight.
We're getting stronger as a family, and it's hard without the rock that we used to have to be, there for us and actually make us whole when we need to be whole.
We're learning how the son of Angela Carr continues to seek justice for what happened 1 year ago.
Our Christina Burgess is on your side and joins us now in the studio. Christina, you spoke with her son this afternoon. What's his message?
That's right. I had the chance to speak with Vaughn Payne. He tells me he wants people to simply be better after losing the beloved matriarch of their family. Payne tells me their family doesn't just want justice, but also change.
We're trying, and it's hard without the rock that we used to have to be.
Vaughn Payne is back in Jacksonville from Virginia, fighting for justice in the city where his mother died a year ago today. Angela Carr was a 52-year-old Uber driver who was dropping off a passenger at the Dollar General on August 26, 2023, when a gunman shot and killed her inside her vehicle. Carr's son was just getting settled in Virginia this day.
I get a call from a friend of hers stating that she's not answering the phone. She's not answering the phone, and there was a shooter at the store.
Later that night, Payne got a call from police that would forever change his and his siblings' life.
And then the next morning it dawned on us and nothing was the same from that point on.
There's 3 children of a beautiful woman who are all suffering in very different ways.
John Phillips is the attorney for the Carr family. Phillips has already filed 1 lawsuit against the parents of the gunman, citing parental negligence, claiming the parents were aware of their son's mental health issues and hatred towards others.
And the first step of accountability certainly is the shooter and his parents.
A second lawsuit will soon be filed against Dollar General for security measures.
The shooter left 2 places where he saw security and went to a third where he saw none. And that's why Dollar General is going to be a defendant.
While fighting for justice and change, Vaughn Payne says he feels his mother with him every step of the way.
She in my ear telling me, don't mess up. But.
And the Carr's family attorney tells me he plans to file more lawsuits in connection to this case, including against the gun manufacturer. Christina Burgess, First Coast News, on your side.
Christina, thank you. And today, the Dollar General, where 3 people were killed in that racist shooting last year, was quiet. The store was closed, but several people came by to pay their respects. 2 of the people who came by were the mother-in-law and young daughter of Gerald Gallion. His daughter was 4 years old when her father was killed last year. Sabrina Rozier, Gallion's mother-in-law, says her family's doing what they can to care for her granddaughter to remember Gallion.
My granddaughter's been talking a lot lately about how much she missed her dad and she wanted the world to know. So we decided to do it on his death anniversary today.
And today, a former Jacksonville Sheriff's Office 911 dispatcher who was at the scene last year stopped by to put flowers there at the memorial.
1 year later, what is being done in Jacksonville to stop something like the Dollar General shooting from happening again? We sat down with Mayor Donna Deegan to talk about it, and she says she's prioritizing infrastructure and health initiatives in underserved districts, including Newtown, where the shooting happened.
It's important that we continue to not just talk the talk about making good on those broken promises, but we actually direct policy to where a lot of those things are lifted.
And you can see more from our interview with Mayor Deegan by opening this story right now in the First Coast News.